Okay, so I thought I would do more meditation stories. Um, as time goes by, the kind of magic of things that happen in meditation do kind of integrate with, I don't know, life and moments of that kind of relaxed brain state that might happen in waking or just before you sleep. So this story is about... So do you remember I told you the story about the World War I Red Cross nurse who visited me, and then I figured out she was a real person? Well, this is another real person, and it's going to be sounding totally crazy. So this was when I was living in Detroit in my own apartment, and I had left my previous relationship, but it was kind of, even though we weren't married, it was like a marriage. And we owned a house together and shared a dog. And so there was a lot of work in the separation, technically and emotionally, because our relationship had been very codependent. And I did not know how to set boundaries. This was something I've learned recently. And so this is all to say that this is what I was receiving help with, spiritually, through guidance. So I had been doing really well, meditating daily, feeling really like I was growing and being healthy. And then this day came. So we didn't know what was going to happen on this day. I mean me. But in the morning, and so I get these often now. It's a very favorite place for me to get images or words or guidance. It'll be that moment when you're awake but not fully awake. Your brain is still in that very calm zone. I don't know what, delta, theta, I'm not sure. And I will get pictures or visitations or words. So what I got was really intense this day. And it was a man, and he was up in my business. He was like in my face to my face, big. His energy was really quick, and it was like really abrasive. Now, I've had other experiences with energies and guides. Like, for example, we can compare it to that nurse. And she was like the most gentle, most healing, most with your consent kind of energy ever. I've literally also had feeling of like someone rubbing their hand on my cheek when I was really sad. And I said, I can feel that. And they said, do you want me to stop? Like, this is the kind of energy that I mostly get. Very, very consensual, high love energy. And so this guy, he's like, he comes to me, and I'm trying to remember. It was the feeling of it was not like angelic. It was not smooth. And so I was like, get away. And I was like, like calling for protection and being like, out, out, out. And he said, highlight. He was saying what I usually said as a, as my protection, ritual, like only highlight beings are allowed to come and deal with me. And he was like, highlight, like he was frustrated. And I was like, I don't think so. That doesn't feel like that to me. And he was like, get out of your own way, like that. And I was like, you get out of my room, So I was like, geez, Louise, what was that energy? That was crazy. what a pushy energy. I have an idea now why it felt so pushy, but we'll get into that, hopefully, if I have time. So the day goes on, and I'm like, burning sage in my room, being like, who was that? So what he looked like was this old man with glasses and a balding head, kind of crinkly looking. And so I'm like going along with my day, feeling really healthy. And then I get this call from my ex, and it's triggering AF, right? It's like, all my growth feels like it went out the window, triggered, like crying, angry, wanting to throw things, like, and then ashamed of myself, like, what's happening? Like, how did I get here? I was feeling so like, crossing my crossed leg yoga pose, hands on the knees, like yogi. I was feeling like that. And then now I'm like a frazzled mess. And so what I did was I laid down right then and there in my tantrum on the rug in the kitchen floor, and I went to meditate. And when I did, I got into the meditative state, and I see that guy again. And this time, he realizes he needs to do a little like due diligence. And he's like showing himself younger. He's showing himself in front of a chalkboard. And so this is fascinating because whenever I've had what I would call a healer guide, and I think that's how he's acting, that's like the position he's taking here. What happens is they show themselves, and then you get this idea. Probably they're giving it to you, and you're like, I think he is a teacher. I think he's a psychiatrist. And then like that idea is them telling you who they are. And so I was like, he's a psychiatrist. Okay. And then I was like, all right. If you are here to give me help, unconditional love kind of help, then I accept your help. And he showed himself to me in several different ages, and then I went deep. And this is usually what happens in that time period with my healing, because the stuff that we were dealing with, the stuff that the trigger was indicating, was really deep kind of trauma stuff. So I went deep into the meditation, and when I came out, I felt better, and we'd released some of that stuff that was being triggered. So when I get out of it, I'm like, all right, now I remember having done this before with the Red Cross nurse. So I asked myself, or the universe, right? What was the name of that psychiatrist? You guys are going to poop your pants. And I heard Carl Jung. And I was like, no way. Because honestly, I didn't know what Carl Jung looked like. So I Googled it, and it was literally Carl Jung. So then I looked up his astrology chart, because I was like, why is he so fucking pushy? And he's just like a Leo. And that fire energy feels like really pushy. Oh, and I forgot to say this. When I was in my second meditation, the thing he said to explain to me what was happening, it was like he said this, and also so pushy. He said, it's like a 69, like that, like so gross and pushy. But what he was saying, and then I got this download of information from him, and he was saying that you guys are codependent, so it's mutually triggering. So he does something, you do something. It's like this mutual kind of sticky triggering attachment. But yeah, and he's come to me one more time since then, but I'm running out of time here, I think. All right.